In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Yesterday, we discussed past continuous or past progressive, and today we have a new tense. Of course, we are still with the past tenses in English, and we are going to discuss the past perfect tense. What is this tense, and when do we use it in English? Let us start explaining the conception of this tense. Okay. Meaning of the past perfect. Completed action before something in the past. So we have in the past we have two actions. Look here to this illustration and diagram. We have past, present, and future. Look, we have two actions. One comes first, and then we have another action. The first action is the past perfect, and the second action is the past simple. Okay, and here both of them are in the past. So we don't have present time. And when I say that, I mean the two actions finished in the past. I don't mean the continuity as yesterday, but I mean that one of them is older than the other. So I can say that past perfect is the oldest tense in English. So past perfect is older than past simple. The past perfect expresses the idea that something occurred before another action in the past. It can also show that something happened before a specific time in the past. Of course, we will have more about this. Examples. She only understood the movie because she had read the book. First, she had read the book, then she could understand the movie. Okay, as I say, the police, okay, arrived after the thief had escaped. First, the thief escaped, ran away, and then the police arrived. Okay, I can say she had prepared the food. The first, I can say first and second. It's good to say first and second. First, she prepared the food. What's next? Then she put it on the table. So first she had prepared the food, then she put it on the table. The first action is preparing the food, and the second action is putting on the table, and both of the two actions are in the past, of course. So when I have two actions, the first comes on past perfect, had plus the past participle, and the next comes in the past simple, the second form of the verb. And I still remind you, please memorize the irregular verbs. I have a video. I told you many times to watch this video of the irregular verbs on my own channel. Here, I had never seen such a beautiful sunset before I went to Hawaii. So it's the first time, okay? Before this, he had never seen such beautiful sunset. So he went to Hawaii. He had gone to Hawaii first. Then he could see the sunset in such a beautiful way. I had never seen such a beautiful sunset before I went to Hawaii. Okay, we have more. Duration before something in the past. We also look here, past, present, as I see here. We also we also use the past perfect to show that something started in the past and continued until another action in the past. So we have here the past perfect. Mr. Abu Bakr is our guest for the opposite today. We are going to, he's going to help us in reading and of course explaining more about the past perfect. Okay, can you read this, Mr. Bakr, for me?
You can also use the past perfect to show that something started in the past and continued until after the action in the past.
So we have, you mean that, Mr. Bakr, we have, when we are explaining past perfect, we have two actions.
Yeah.
Both of them are in the past, but one of them is older than the other. Can you give us an example from your mind, Mr. Bakr?
For example, I
you mean?
have read.
I had read the book, then
I
closed it. Okay. I can say also, as I mentioned before in this episode, the thief had escaped. So the first action is the escape of the thief. Then the police arrived. Okay, we can use the past perfect to show that something started in the past and continued until another action in the past. Yes, good. Here is we have more. We had owned, here is the durations before something in the past. We had owned our car for 10 years before it finally died. Okay, so they had this car, this old car, they had it, they had this car, then they sent it or bought another car. So they had the car first, then it died or it finished or it broke down. So the first action is having the car. Then comes the second action, which is the car died.
As we see, the first action in the past perfect and the newest one in the past simple.
Good, exactly, Mr. Abu Bakr. They had been married for 5 years when they had their first child. What happened first? What had happened first? Sorry.
Been married.
They had been married. Okay. Of course, they had been married first. Then the child came.
After 5 years.
After 5 years. So the first action is marriage.
Yeah.
Then the second action is the birth of what, Mr. Abu Bakr? Of the child. So I think now it's clear. We have more. Okay. Past, present. Unlike with the present perfect tense, it's possible to use specific time words or phrases with the past perfect. Although it is possible, it's usually not necessary. Okay. It's not important to mention this because we are going to mention some words. Often we use the simple past or the past perfect. Look, she had visited the US, I mean the United States, once in 2000s before she moved here in 2005. So she finished, what had done first? She had visited the US. Then after this is the first visit was in 2000. This is the first action. Then comes the second action, which was after 5 years. Okay, we have here more and more exercises. She had visited the US, okay, once in 2000 before she had moved. Okay, specific time, yes, 2000 and 2005. She visited the US once in the 2000. She had then, of course, as you see here. Okay. How to make the present perfect? We don't mean it. It's our time here is past perfect. Had plus past participle. Mr. Mabakar. Okay. It's important, of course, to memorize the irregular verbs. Okay, and I prepared it on a video on my own channel here. Okay, the irregular verbs like go, went, gone. Okay, sleep, slept, slept, and so on. So please memorize them. Then we should put had. Had with all some pronouns. Okay, either singular or plural. Okay, I had finished. I have done. I have done. Okay.
We have done. They have done.
Yes, exactly. Here we have more. Look here. Do you remember the past symbol? A past symbol. Yeah, an action which finished. Okay, in the past and it's over. Okay. We'll have here past simple or past perfect or past progressive. Look. I'm sorry. We have something here. We have more here. Simple past. When we are talking about something that we have done in the past and it's finished. Important here, it's finished. It's already finished. We use the simple tense. So it's one action here.
Yeah, one action.
We don't have two actions. When we have two actions in the past, it means that one is older and the first is older. It's past perfect, which had plus past participle. And the second is past.
The second action
is past simple. Yes, exactly.
The first perfect, second simple.
Exactly, Mr.
First perfect, second simple.
Regular verbs end with ed. Okay, irregular verbs.
It's too simple and easy.
Yeah. Listen.
For example.
To school, I realized it was
okay. I walked to school yesterday. Can you read this, Mr. Bakr?
I realized it was the day before
Thanksgiving break. Or Eid break or any action. Okay. So here, past perfect here. Here is also we have a comparison between past simple and past perfect just to make matters clear. A time or an event in the past, it's used to show that this event occurred before another event in the past, as I said before. Can you read this, Mr. Abba?
Use past perfect.
Yes.
The situation ended before past event, a past event. Okay.
The
situation began in the past and was continuing when another past event occurred.
Okay. I had lived here for 5 years before we hosted a holiday dinner. So they lived. What happened first? They lived for 5 years. Yeah. Then, or after this, comes the next action, which is hosted a holiday dinner. We had
finished the dinner when the phone rang.
Okay, what happened first?
First, I had finished.
They had finished the dinner. Then
the phone rang.
The phone rang.
So all the action is finish the dinner, and the newest one is phone ring.
Yeah. So the first action is finishing the dinner. The second action is the phoning of the telephone, the ringing of the telephone, and we still remember that both of the two actions were in the past. Yeah. Am I right, Mr. Abubakar?
Yeah.
Just have a look on the past progressive. Yesterday I discussed past progressive, and I said it took some time in the past. You know, I have two actions, but one of them, I mean the duration of time. Okay, I have the length of time in the past. Both are in the past, but when I say I was cooking, I was fishing, it means the time or the period it took, the amount from point A to point B, for example. Okay, I was reading, I was cooking, she was listening to the music, or to music, sorry. So when I mean the duration, when I mean the period, the action took, I use past progressive or past continuous, as we say. Can you? Okay, let's first listen.
Cooking dinner when the phone.
Yeah. I was cooking dinner when the phone rang. Yes. Okay. I don't mean here is I home on the day before the Eid. I home before the day before Eid. We can have mistakes, by the way. I can say I'll choose I walked home. That's right. I walked home on the day before Eid. This is one of the examples. We all cooking before we were finally finished. Can I choose had spent here?
Had spent.
Had spent, yes?
Had spent.
Okay, I think that's okay. That's enough from this exercise just to move to another idea. Okay, here is clear of the, here is more examples and more exercises of past perfect, and we have games. What had Kate done while her friends were on vacation? She, a little tree. She what? She had arrived. This is very simple. Had and the past participle. Just to remember the form of the verb. The aim of the exercise is to remember and put in your mind that the form is had and what? What's Mr. Abakar? Past participle. What's past participle?
Verb is read.
Yeah. Had arrived, had studied, had planted. Of course, had
planted.
Had planted. Good. Yes, good. As it's seen in the pictures here. What had Mike done while Sam and Juliet played in the garden? He, can you choose Mr. Bakr?
Had visited, had studied, had revised, had played, had read.
Had read. Why do you pronounce it read? Read.
Verb is read.
So when I pronounce it, I say read in the verb 3 or the past participle.
In the past, on verb 3, we
use
the verb.
We pronounce it as read.
As read.
Yes, good, good. Where had Leah gone while her parents were at home? She fishing in the lake. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Again, we came back. I'm sorry for the sudden breaking down of the internet. Okay, we are going also to continue with past perfect. Okay, he didn't work on why. As you see here, he forgot to change it on. He downloaded a virus. He forgot to put a petrol on the car. Okay, as you see here, his car. Why? He forgot to put on the petrol. Okay. Because he had forgotten. So now I change it into past perfect. He had forgotten. His car didn't work first. Okay, his car didn't work because before this he had forgotten to put petrol in it. So he had forgotten here means that if he had put the car, if he put the petrol on the car, of course it would stop. So he didn't put the petrol and the car didn't work. So, but after he had put the petrol, of course, the car worked. So his car didn't work. Why? Because he had forgotten to put the petrol on it. Again. Next. His phone didn't work on. Why? His phone didn't work on. Remember, why? He forgot to change it on. He downloaded the virus. We'll change it. He downloaded the virus. No. Yeah. He forgot to charge it on because he had forgotten to charge it on. He had forgotten to charge the phone. Here is a charger. So it didn't work. So the phone didn't work because, look here, because it's joined the two sentences, because he had forgotten to charge it on. Okay, but after he had charged it on, it worked. Exactly. So we have two actions here in the past. The first, that he didn't, he had forgotten to change the phone. The second is that the phone didn't work. Again. Look here. His printer broke down on what? It was on Thursday, of course. His printer broke down on why? He forgot to charge it. He bought a paper which was the wrong size, as you see here, for the machine. He downloaded a virus. Let's see this. Yeah, his car. It's clear now. It was on Thursday. Thursday, his car didn't work. His printer didn't work on Thursday. Why? Because on Wednesday he had put the wrong size of paper on the printer. So on Thursday, this is the day, both on all this week or the last week. Okay, and these actions happened, for example, last week. Imagine that they happened last week. On Thursday, he had forgotten. On Wednesday, he had forgotten. He had put the wrong size of paper. So this was on Wednesday. So on Thursday, it didn't work. On Wednesday, he had put the wrong size, and on Thursday, it didn't work. So we have two actions, first and second. I just concentrate on the conception of the tense and not the form of the tense. Okay? His computer crashed on. This was on Wednesday. Look at this computer, it crashed on. Why? Why do you think? What happened on Tuesday? Maybe something happened on Tuesday. He forgot to charge it. He bought a paper which was the wrong size. He downloaded a virus. We'll check this. Yeah, because on Tuesday, his computer crashed on when? On Wednesday. Because on Tuesday, he had or he'd downloaded. Had, we can put apostrophe just the abbreviation of had, because he had downloaded a virus on. Okay, so the action of crashing down of his computer was on Wednesday, because on Thursday he had downloaded, of course, a virus. He had downloaded a virus, and this is the first action. And this was on Tuesday, because Tuesday comes before Wednesday. Exactly. Then, of course, on Tuesday he had downloaded a virus, and after this, on Wednesday, his computer crashed. Look here, Tuesday. This is the day, Tuesday. He had a terrible argument with his boss on, you know, boss, the head of work, the first man on the work, and the manager of his company or his firm. He had, of course, terrible arguments, or they talked loudly with his boss. Why? He didn't finish, because what happened on Monday? This was on Tuesday. This comes as a result of something, as a result of an action, of another action, as a result of another action. So Tuesday, he had a terrible argument. This was a result of a Monday action. We'll see. He didn't finish his report. He bought a paper which was the wrong size for the machine. He downloaded a virus. I'll choose this. Choose this. Yeah, because on Monday he had finished. He hadn't. This is the negative, of course. He hadn't finished the report. So this employer hadn't finished the report. So the manager was angry, and he of course he had an argument with him. So, as a result of Tuesday action, okay, this happened, okay, as a result of Monday action, on Tuesday he had, of course, an argument. So the first action, he hadn't finished the report. The second action, you know, of course, his manager talked to him. Yes, great. I like these ideas. On Monday, what happened? He had a terrible headache. You know, headache? This is the illness of headache. He had a terrible headache on Monday. Why? Well, check now. He hadn't finished the report. He watched too much TV. He had too much. Okay, let's see this. Because he had watched the TV on Sunday, so on Monday he had a terrible headache. The first action, the result of Sunday action, he had a terrible. Okay, on Monday he had a terrible. Of course, he had watched the TV. This is the first action, and as a result of it, he had a terrible headache. Look, on Saturday and Friday, I'll check all this week. Have you ever had unlucky day or a week or a day or a week? Tell us about this. Of course, I had a headache. Really, I had a headache and I had a flu, as you see, because I forgot to switch off the air condition all night. So this has happened. I had forgotten to switch off the air condition, so I had a terrible headache. Today is Sunday night, and Dan has had very unlucky week. Why? As I told you, this is the day of headache. Yeah. This was the story of this boy. We started it from the beginning. Great. We have more exercises. Look and see. They were pleased to arrive. They traveled for 12 hours. Look. Okay, they were pleased to arrive after they had been traveling, had been traveling for 10 hours. Okay, so first they traveled, then they were pleased. I passed the exam because why did I pass the exam? What I did first? Of course, after I had studied hard, I passed the exam. First, I had studied hard. This is the first action. Then I could pass the exam because, as you see here, I had studied. I passed the exam because I had studied. By more examples and repeating the explanation, I wanted to understand the meaning of the verb. I was able to buy a new computer because first, of course, I had saved a lot of money or enough money, then I could buy the computer. So after I had saved a lot of money, I could buy the computer. I had saved. So the first action is saving the money. The second action is buying the computer, and both were in the past. I got wet because I forgot my umbrella. I got wet because I had forgotten. First, I forgot my umbrella. First, I got what? I got wet. First, I had forgotten my umbrella. Then I got wet because I don't have an umbrella. If I have an umbrella, I wouldn't, of course, get wet. So I got wet because I forgotten my umbrella. I was upset when he lost his phone. He was upset, sorry, when he was annoyed. He was annoyed, unhappy because he had lost his phone. He had only bought it the week before. So first he bought the phone, then of course he lost it after. So after he had bought the phone, he lost it. This is the action. Please, my friends, please, my followers, please, my students, please, everyone who listens to me, try to understand grammar as a meaning. Don't memorize the forms of grammar. Try to use the grammarly speaking. By the time I managed to see her, she be in hospital for over a week. So first she had been to the hospital, then I could see her. So what happened first? She had gone to hospital, she had been to hospital, then I saw her. He tried, he was tired because he studied all weekend. He was tired because he studied all the week. So he had studied all the weekend. He had been studying, or he had studied all the weekend, then he was tired. He was pleased. He caught 3 fish in just 1 hour. Why was he pleased? Because an action happened first. He had caught three fish. Great. She managed to get through the bowl after she had tried to call him 3 times. So she managed, at last she could call her husband after she had tried many times. So first she had tried, then she succeeded. The first action is trying, the second action is calling. So she had tried to call him, then she called him. She painted for a long time before she became famous. That's great. First, she had painted many times. So the first thing she had done is she painted for many times. She had painted for a long time. Then she became famous, and now she's famous. I'm talking about the past. She had been painting for a long time because she became famous. He got burned because he sat in the sun too long. He got burned because he had, okay, as you see, he had been sitting, or he had sat. He had been sitting in the sun. He had a stomach ache because he ate too much. First, he had eaten too much, then he had stomach ache. So what happened first? He had eaten too much, then he had stomach ache. When the company shut down, she worked there for 15 years. So she had worked first in the company. The first thing that she had worked for 15 years in the company, then the company had shut down. Okay? Sorry, the company shut down after she had worked. So the shut here in the past, then had worked in the past perfect. Sorry. When the company shut down, I'm sorry for the mistake. When the company shut down, the outcome or the result is the shutting down of the company. But before this, what happened? She had been working. The first action, she had been working for many times. He been an MP for a long time before he became a president. Okay. First, he was a prime minister or a minister. Okay. Then he became a president. So he had been for prime minister or MP for a long time. Then he became president. So the presidency comes after, okay, being a prime minister, after a job before. So his job before was he had been a member of the parliament, then he became president. Okay, I think now it's clear, and we have also more exercises I think that we have here. We can go also and see. What, check. Sorry, yeah, this is. the past perfect tense. Open the brackets part. Okay. Look here, we have fine pictures. Also, we are concentrating. I received a good mark in my test because who can see? This is evaluation, of course. I had practiced. Check here. Maybe something wrong happened. I received a good mark in my test because I had practiced. Good. Good. Good thing. Yes. Something happened in my computer. I don't know why. Try to close it. Yes, exactly. I'm sorry for this mistake. Okay. You eat anything before you went to the theater? He had eaten. Had he eaten anything before he went to the theater? So here I'm asking a question. I'm asking questions now. Okay. At school, Jim quickly copied the homework At school, Jimmy quickly copied the homework he hadn't done. As students, some students, of course, hadn't done their homework, then they come and copy it from their friends. And this is, of course, a mistake. So the first thing they had forgotten to copy the homework, then they copied it at school. The teacher corrected the tests that the pupils wrote on Monday. First, the pupil had written the tests, and then the teacher corrected it. So the first action is writing the test. The second action is correcting it. Okay, the teacher corrected the tests that the pupils had written on Monday. The thief could walk right into the house because you locked not. Okay, you had, of course, don't forget to lock the door. The thief could walk right, could in the past, here is in the past, could walk right into the house. Okay, it's all right, no problem, because you hadn't locked the door. You should lock the door. First, you had forgotten to lock the door, then the thief entered. Okay, let's see now. She found a new job by the time. Had she found a new job by that time? Of course, before this, she hadn't got a job, but now, of course, it in the past, of course, in a specific time of the past. We lost the match because we practiced not the day before. They are players. Okay, we lost the match because we hadn't practiced well. Okay. I had to clean the floor because my cats knocked over the floor pots. Look here. I had to clean the floor because my cats had knocked over the floor pots. Okay. As a result of knocking over the floor, of course, I had to clean the pots. Of course, the first action is knocking, or as you see here, correcting or breaking the pots. Then, of course, the floor had to be cleaned. So, as a result, here is the first action is breaking, knocking the pots. Then I had to clean the floor. My friend was in hospital because he slept on a banana skin. My friend was in hospital. Why? What's happened first? Because he had slept. So first he had slept on a banana skin, then he had to go to the hospital. He lived in London before he moved to Glasgow. Glasgow is in Scotland, of course. He had lived in London. First, he lived in London, in England. Then he moved to Glasgow in Scotland. Okay, so had he lived in London, I'm asking a question. Had he lived in London before he moved to Glasgow? Had he lived in Cairo before he moved to, for example, Suhaj or Alexandria? Had he lived in London? I can say it instead of saying question. He had lived in London first. The first place was London. So he had lived in London, then he moved to Glasgow. The first action was London. The first place was London or living in London, then he moved to Glasgow. So the first had plus past participle. It's past perfect. Then he moved to Glasgow. The mail order house did not send me the shirt that I had ordered. The mail order house did not send me the shirt that I had ordered. I didn't receive, I didn't get the mail. I had ordered. First, I had ordered. Then, but as a result, of course, I didn't take it. Okay. The courier had forgotten the address and ran back to check it. He forgot the address, then he moved back to check the address. First, he forgetting of the address. Fred answered my question, although asked not him. Fred answered my question, although I hadn't asked him. I hadn't asked him before. Before that time, I hadn't asked him, but he answered my questions. They signed the contract just before it was too late. They had signed the contract just before it was too late. First, so they signed the contract. They had signed the contract. This is the first action, okay? But it was too late. This is the second or the less important action. So, my friends, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.